Hi everyone, Radhe Radhe. In this video, we're going to be doing chapter 5, verse 19. So let's sing this verse together. Ihaiva tairjitah sargo yesham samye sthitam manah nirdosham hi samam brahma tasmad brahmani te sthitah. Okay, so this is one of those verses that can be controversial, I'm sure, between the Dvaita perspective and the Advaita perspective, which is the personalist and the impersonalist perspective. And it's very interesting to note the differences between Prabhupada and Swami Mukundanand in this one. And Prabhupada he translated it, but he didn't explain it in the purport in the same way. So I'm very, very curious about it. I'm very excited to dive into this with you guys. Okay, so let's read the translation first. Those whose minds are established in sameness and equanimity have already conquered the conditions of birth and death. They are flawless like Brahman. He's saying Brahman here, not Paramatma, not Krishna, he's saying not Supreme, he's saying Brahman, not God. And they are already situated in Brahman. Therefore, they are already and I believe that there is a really strong reason for Prabhupada to say this. So I have found this website called prabhupadvani.org, I think, or .com.org, I think. And all of his lectures from 1966, like so many of his lectures have been recorded and uploaded there. And it's very clear. That's the one thing, is that the audio quality is extremely clear. I'm so grateful to those people who have uploaded it. My goodness, the amount of work they must have done to put it there. And everything is transcribed, and in paragraphs, and like very easy to read, properly transcribed, like really a lot of effort. And there are, I don't know how many, 3,000 some lectures uploaded there. So much information. All of everything that Prabhupada has spoken pretty much in any of these lectures has been recorded, uploaded, transcribed, and very clear sound, very clear. So the first video I just looked at yesterday, and I was like, okay, let me start this process maybe. So I'm reading the Leelamrit of Prabhupada, and I'm now on chapter, I think, 37 or something like that. So I'm reading one chapter a day of Leelamrit. And there are maybe 30 more days to go in order to finish that. And after that, I think I'll start doing one lecture a day of Prabhupada. So that'll be like a 3,000-day project, which is how many years? I don't even know how many years that would be. 3,000 divided by 300, 10-year project maybe. That'd be amazing. But the good thing was that it can be read. It doesn't have to be listened to, although there is a lot of good that comes out of listening, but it can be read, which makes it much faster for me. And I like reading. I like the reading. I like listening when also. I mean, I like both. But anyways, so a 3-hour video to listen would be a lot longer than reading, I believe. So that's what I mean. Okay, so yeah, in that I saw that he started the 1966 videos from February, had started talking from chapter 2, the real verses, as soon as Bhagwan Shri Krishna dives into the real content in chapter 2, I think 211 or 210 or something like that. So Prabhupada starts from there, and he's doing one lecture per verse. And I'm sure he'll come to this one, 519. So whenever I get to that, I don't know when I'll get to that, but whenever I get to that, I'll get some more clarity about what he thinks about this. But it's really incredible to me to have that, and I am hoping that I'll be able to understand Prabhupada, I'll be able to understand ISKCON, I'll be able to understand this whole world in a much better way once I start going through those lectures. And once I've gone through all 3,000, I'm sure I'll be able to understand in a much deeper way. Okay, so yeah, let's do word by word. Ihaiva tairjitah sargo, in this life certainly by them conquered. It'll make sense more. Yesham samye sthitam manah. Sargo is birth and death. So in this life, they conquer birth and death, the cycle of birth and death. They conquer the cycle of birth and death. Those who yesham samye equanimity, samanya in Hindi is same. So equanimity, situated, sthitam, manah, mind. So those whose mind is situated in equanimity conquer birth and death. Nirdosham hi samam brahma. Nirdosham. Nirdosh is flaw. Nirdosham is flawless. Flawless, certainly samam in equanimity, like the supreme. Those people are flawless, like the supreme. So he says supreme here, but here they're saying, Prabhupada is saying Brahman. Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagwan, right? So he's saying Brahman, which is the word that impersonalists believe, like Brahman is the most supreme. Tasma, therefore, Brahmani, they are situated. Therefore, in the supreme, they are situated. So here he's saying supreme, and there he's saying Brahman. So, and here he doesn't talk too much in the purport. Equanimity is a science of self-realization. So those who have attained such a state should be considered to have conquered material conditions, as specifically birth and death. The Lord is flawless because he is without attraction or hatred. Similarly, when a human being or living entity, not human being, living entity is without attraction or hatred, he also becomes flawless and eligible to enter the spiritual sky. Now here Brahman he is calling spiritual sky or supreme. Such persons are considered to be already liberated, and the symptoms that I described below. And here those whose minds are established in equality of vision conquer the cycle of birth and death in this very life. They possess the flawless qualities of God, and therefore they are seated in the absolute truth. So Brahman, here the first one, Brahma, he is translated as God. Brahmani, he is translated as absolute truth. So here it's the same thing here. So, yeah, so Sri Krishna uses the word samye to mean person possessing equal vision towards all living beings, which he had mentioned in the previous verse. So he's contextualizing that here. Further, equality in vision also means to rise above likes, dislikes, happiness, misery, pleasure, pain, all of that kind of stuff. So when one's mind is situated in divine consciousness, attachment to bodily pleasures and pains get transcended, and you reach a state of equanimity. Okay, so that's it for this verse. We shall do chapter 5, verse 20 in the next video. Wish you a day filled with spiritual growth. Radhe Radhe.